Well, I'm Mario Rosati of Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich and Rosati, and I've been here for 40 years as an attorney. I started in 1971. Professor Jennings told me that Larry Sonsini was doing interesting things in Silicon Valley, and I'd never heard the expression. I had no idea where this place called Silicon Valley was. Um, but I met Larry and was invited to the firm, accepted my position here. I became the 8th or ninth lawyer and have been here ever since. I very much enjoyed it and watched the firm grow significantly. At the time I started, we were just one little office in Palo Alto. We were a local law firm. I remember when I came to the firm, one of the partners was doing a divorce, another one was doing a second-degree murder defense. But John Wilson was working with the partners at Mayfield Fund, an early venture capital fund that became very successful. And we stayed close to those venture capitalists and have done a lot of work with them over the years. We introduce them to our clients who are seeking funding, and they introduce us to entrepreneurs that they have made investments in. And the firm has grown significantly. Today we're 600 lawyers. We have offices here in Palo Alto, also in San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Austin, Texas, Washington, D.C., New York, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and we just opened our first European office in Brussels. Oh, and we have an office in Delaware, too. And it's been very interesting to watch the firm grow. We represent about 25% of the companies that get funded here in Silicon Valley.
You represent one quarter of the companies that
One
get funded.
quarter of the companies that get venture capital.
You want to give some names of the companies you helped grow over the last 20 years for the Italian viewers that don't have an association with the brand.
Apple, Google.
I think that's enough.
Okay.
Just to
Yes.
give some reference.
And we do
to
work.
those
We
successful
have done
companies.
work for Hewlett Packard, and I'm on the board of Sanmina SCI, which will do somewhere around 6 or 7 billion this year, because some of these companies have grown phenomenally. But I've often thought that if you graphed it out, the number of companies that are started in Silicon Valley, the amount of venture capital that gets invested, with the growth of our firm from 7 or 8 lawyers or 9 lawyers when I started to today, we're probably all on the same line. And it's been very exciting to grow with these companies and to watch how high technology has done phenomenally here. And because of all the different offices we have, you can see that it's doing well in a number of places. And I guess that brings me to Italy.
Sorry, before we go there, then definitely we're going to focus the rest of the chat on the Italian side. But just to understand the nature of the business, for a lot of Italians don't quite associate a lawyer firm as a key element to the success of companies that have to grow fast and big.
Mm-hmm.
In a few words, what do you guys do?
A number of the entrepreneurs that come to see us have no funding lined up. And what we do is we'll make a determination as to whether or not we think they have some chance of being successful. And if we come to that conclusion based on who they are, what their education level is, what they've done in the past, we'll take a chance with them. And we'll bill them on a regular basis, but we'll defer our expectation of payment until they get funded. And we've been have enjoyed a lot of success following that model, and I think it really kind of aligns our interests too, because if they don't get funded, we probably don't get paid, and so we're going to work with them to see if we can get them funded.
And so one of the things that you mentioned is that you can invest in your relationship with investors. Sometimes it happens that you invest alongside venture capitalists. You also have a kind of a seed fund that you can, run parallel to your activities again to be aligned with the success.
Yes,
Of the
we have
entrepreneurship.
WS Investment, and we'll, uh, in some cases, get a small amount of founder stock. In some cases, we'll tag along with the venture investors and make investments. And we also invest in venture funds and have done this over a number of years. I think we started doing this on a formal basis in 1978. And our investments have generally done well. It's kind of, we make a lot of investments, so the risk is spread, and every once in a while there's some very attractive returns.
How do you make the decision? I mean, if there is back to the young entrepreneurs that knocks your door for a number of reasons, how do you also make the decision that's a good fit to invest alongside with the activities that you're doing for them?
We generally look at the caliber of the investors who are making the investment, and if it's a well-known, successful venture fund, we will
You invest
generally
alongside.
try to
With,
get
with
an
a
opportunity.
Series A though.
Yeah, Series A preferred stock. On occasion, though, we invest in convertible notes, where they have not lined up their financing, but they're selling notes that will convert into preferred when they get the investor. We may invest in that.
Got it. Perfect. Now, switching gear to the Italian side of the discussion. You're clearly Italian. Third generation? How do you count?
I'm second generation.
Second generation.
My father's parents came from Italy. My grandmother came in 1907, and my grandfather came in 1910. They were married in 1918. My father was born in 1920, and my middle daughter, Chiara, went to the University of Florence in her junior year, and her major was Italian. And she became very interested in our family heritage, and so it's been a lot of fun.
Do you feel Italian?
Yes, I do. Creativity in designing games, social networking, all these are hot areas, and I could see Italian creativity being very much involved in those kinds of companies. Yeah, I think that many companies are virtual.
Right.
On the other hand, investors like to be able to...
That's why I just added, but the CEO has to be here.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's important, right? You need to know the person, you need to be around you. It needs to be, half an hour drive away from you.
Yeah, you want to be able to go down to the facility and see what's going on.
Right.
Well, I think that being here physically helps. And if they can't be here themselves, they should at least have an office here. That'll put us in a much better position to attract local funding. And as a practical matter, almost 40% of venture capital is within 10 miles of where we're sitting. And that
Palo
helps.
Alto, by the way.
Yes, we're sitting here in Palo Alto, California.
Would you be interested in evaluating some of the companies that are going through that cycle?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you'll see them.
Great.
Thank you.